they changed his abilities. Where'd you learn that from?
I know my memes. I read Twitch chat. Hello.
Dang, meme lord, Calidor over here.
I mean,
Do you know what the new ability is?
Huh?
Do you know what the ability is for Hanzo?
I don't play that game.
So now he instantly 4 different shots, and he has a dash as well.
You see this?
4 shots.
This is me not caring.
You don't care, okay. Well, my Evan Dahaka has been picked up. Great, wonderful. Honestly, if they put his ability in Overwatch into Heroes, those variant compositions that you have would be insane with Hanzo.
Okay, come on, tell me about it.
I've already just explained it. It's 4 instant shots that you can siege up that instantly just wind up, and you get the full damage off of it, and you also get dashes, so he has more mobility and he has more burst.
Yeah, that's what we need.
He shreds tanks.
Oh, yeah.
Insane.
No, it's really what we need. We need Hanzo with more mobility and more single target damage. That's a fantastic idea.
That is an amazing idea.
You should be a balanced designer.
I'm down, man. I just want my heroes to be thematic between my games, okay?
Okay, Blizzard, whatever you do, if this man sends you emails with
Dude,
balance,
if I was a balance designer, here's what I would do. Everyone would get a 3rd heroic.
Straight up ignore what he said.
Everyone would get a 3rd heroic, and they would have the hunt immediately put onto their kit. Could you imagine Murky hunting in and destroying a target? Insta-slime everywhere.
There's an idea.
Rexar with the hunt. Doesn't that sound amazing? The bear flying behind the entire time, charges afterwards?
That's a good idea.
This game would be amazing.
It's a good idea for Brawl, but not more. Serious mode now. There's a draft going on.
I was serious about the hunt. That's a 3rd heroic. I'm down with that.
That's the sad part about it.
Lily with the hunt.
Shut up.
We're going on an adventure! And then blinds a target.
Brightwing with the hunt is even more creepy. She's like that stalk. I was like, friend!
That would be amazing. She could hunt it and then phase shift out. Oh, great. All right, so Malfurion Leeming comes in. Lots of poke for Team Dignitas. Immortal Control as well. Greymane and Karazim, though, leftovers, are giving themselves the ability to get on top of a target if they overstep, but also giving themselves the ability to deal with the Immortal themselves. Greymane sneaking his way back into our drafts.
I mean, the first thing that actually we saw here is that on Battlefield of Eternity, we have now the Haka for the side lane. So it's again this idea that you're trying to soak a bit more on the side lane before the first Immortal in particular is taken, and then you try to move in. I mean, especially around the second one, is ideally with level 10. That's the dream. If around the second Immortal you can get the level 10 with the Haka and then go in. It gives them some global control in the long run. If Dignitas doesn't respond with Falstad, and given that they have Hanzo and Leeming already, it's very unlikely, there's not going to be a global to match it. But Dignitas has insane poke around Hanzo and Leeming to gain the Immortals, so their strategy is definitely here to, I mean, ideal of course get resets for Leeming through kills and carry the team fights, but they can also just simply keep poking at the Immortal, and as long as they win the objective, they're not going to be in too much trouble here. But as you said, leftovers with Greymane on the map and with Karazim, they actually have a fair amount of Immortal pressure too.
Yeah. ETC and Yrel comes out. Wow, our 2nd Yrel of the weekend. Intriguing.
I mean, it is the thing at the solo lane that is really tough just to take her down, and we heard the Ranger actually talk a bit about it, that she's very tough to kill. I mean, this is pre-buff Yrel, so she is still pretty powerful here, but she's gonna become even more stronger towards next weekend. And Nubarak for the last pick. Pretty dive heavy what they have here, with Maiev going in, you have the Haka, also very melee heavy here too, and Nubarak now.
Yeah, decent amount of CC2 to help out with Yrel, try to step up her channels if she can come in, but also Mosh Pit.
I mean, he can also eat a lot of the shots that Leeming fires out, either with Beatles or he himself, just to make sure that she's not getting free shots against the Immortal and burns that down. So that helps them a bit. But they definitely have a lot of engage here.
Do you believe in the Yrel?
I believe in Whoopi.
Yeah. Do you think it's Whoopi? You could put ETC in the top lane if you wanted to. Main tank Yrel.
Before buff
is playing Varian right now. I'm just saying.
Before buff, there's no way. Nah, it's gonna be Whoopi.
Yeah, it's probably Whoopi.
It's gonna be a side lane. No, but I really think that, yeah.
Honestly, when you're on BOE, most of the time when you're in that 4-man on the bottom, you can't really afford to split somebody off unless they have hypermobility like a Genji. So it's gonna be a spot where Yrel can kind of just have that 1-to-1. And whenever she is in a 1-on-1 scenario and she can't be interrupted, she usually can kind of out-trade her opponent, eventually get to a point where they start to back up a little bit. could be hard for Dahaka to handle that.
I mean, again, Leftovers approaches from the perspective, hey, we want to learn something here. This is for us this is for us practice. It's a learning opportunity. If you can win a map, then hey, let's go for it and improve our score for the standings. But they acknowledge that Dignitas is the huge favorite. So I like what they're doing here. I mean, it's an aggressive comp that they are drafting. They are very heavily set up with that melee frontline. They have Maiev engage, a Nubarak engage. So they are not shying away from aggression. I really like that from the perspective of how we've seen them play in the first few days, so that they try that out now against Dignitas, who is definitely made from a completely different stuff here.
Well, let's head into it. Game number 2, Battlefield of Eternity. Leftovers trying to hang against Team Dignitas here on the left side. In the blue, Podyboss playing Dahaka, DAB on Grey Main, Linked on Karazim, Mopsio on a Nubarak, and Black Hitney to play Maiev.
And over to the right side of the map, they are opponents. Team Dignitas with Wooby on Urel. We have Snitch on Hanzo. We're seeing Poi currently playing the mage. He's playing on Liming, JPL with a front tank, that's ETC. And Zelia on his Bay. Zelia on the old man playing, the other old man playing Malfurion.
Malfurion is old, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like 10,000 years or something.
He's up there. He's about to expire, that's for sure. He did expire, didn't he? Spoilers, World of Warcraft, is that spoilers? Only 2 years ago.
I have no idea, but wasn't he like, were him and Tyrande a couple, wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, there's a love triangle between Illidan and Tyrande. We are definitely the ones qualified to talk about lore here.
I always found it a little bit creepy. I mean, seriously, if you have the choice, who do you want to go for? Do you go for Malfurion, the old geezer that's just boring as hell, or do you go for the badass Illidan? I mean, that for me, that would be an easy choice. So I'm not quite sure what's wrong with Tyrande, but that, I mean, seriously.
Don't let your pleb human emotions get in the way. Age is not a big deal between druids. It's fine. Let them love each other. And don't judge, man. Don't judge.
I mean, no, I will go with the blind dude. He's badass.
Yes.
What do you mean, I guess?
Someone that gauged their own eyes out is a little crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, but, I mean, it makes him at least interesting.
Yeah. Speaking about interesting, Leftovers trying to control the top here as Team Dignitas comes in, but Leftovers opening up pretty aggressively here. First off, rotating the 4-man in the top lane, going straight for a turret. They get a little bit weak, and they also grab a siege camp quick.
Linked is pausing the game because, wait, love triangle? Tell me more about that. Wait a second, boys. We need to hold that game for a moment. So, what do you know about the lore?
I know nothing. Okay, so Josh is trying to tell me in my ear. So, I'm going to repeat this to you. Tyrande, Illidan, Malfurion. All in the love triangle. So there's Illidan and then there's Malfurion, and both of them are brothers. Illidan got caged in dark magic, but he like had a love interest for Tyrande. Malfurion was like, nah, that's my girlfriend. You can't be a part of this. So he kicked Illidan away for the rest of his life, and I think that's where he fell in love with Maiev.
I mean, that's just screwed up.
I don't think that's true at all. I have no idea. And then Kel'Thas came in and dropped a flame strike. Ignite, he killed everybody. And we're like, well, that character's broken. And then we nerfed him. I
still don't get it. Why would you go for Malfurion? That guy's boring as hell.
He's wise. It's like, what
do you mean wise?
Wise is not boring. Do you like look at your grandpa and go, Grandpa, you're boring because you're a horrible person, Caldor. That's what you are. This isn't an us issue. This is a you issue.
It took you 2 years to pick up on that. That I'm a horrible person, really. Wow. I told you on the first day, basically.
What do you know about lore? Tell me your Warcraft knowledge, Mr. I know everything.
Okay, so basically, Tyrande and Illidan, they are like, Tyrande thinks that Illidan is really, really hot. What? You wanted to know? Okay, I'm talking
Please
about
never write a story ever. Like, there's no build-up. Like, you have to have some kind of attraction going on before you go to
he's badass.
Can we go into the game?
No, I wanted, you wanted to know my lore, okay? Like, I'm actually putting that out right now.
You have 10 seconds. Go.
I need more than 10 seconds.
20
it's
seconds.
a big story. I'm back in the game. I'm going to tell you later. It's amazing. It's an amazing story.
Jeez Louise, man. I'm glad that part of commentary is not knowing all the lore. We would just get fired instantly.
I'll make up my own lore. It's way better. Big push at the top lane right now. And, well, with the Beatles, you can always try and get a couple of tower shots soaked and put the pressure in. I really like how aggressive the Leftovers are. I said it during the draft here. I really enjoy that they are trying to do that against Dignitas right now.
Yep.
Showing no respect and saying, okay, we're going to come out swinging, and they're trying to snipe towers now. And if you get those, that's a huge chunk of experience that you can really get here. The top one is nearly down. The bottom one also on half HP. So I really like the way that they're currently trying to play this. Against Dignitas, it's always going to be difficult because you just step out of position for a second and Dignitas punishes you. But this is exactly what you need to practice against teams like Dignitas to perfect it against other teams that you might be able to beat.
What's interesting is they actually didn't get either of those turrets there, so they're actually a little bit behind in experience. They should be able to clean that up soon. But Team Dignitas and the leftovers will go straight for the bruiser camps that we typically see from these teams and move towards that level 4. Now, this is a little bit of an earlier timing. Typically, you get those camps around the 230, 235 mark. We got it at 225. So there is a potential for it to be cleared out, especially by Dahaka here for leftovers. Remember that global is going to be important in this exchange. What are you smiling about?
I'm going to put a poll out on my Twitter later and ask if Illidan is hot or not. You are so wrong on that.
I don't think anyone... Okay.
Okay, back to business.
Yeah, it's back to business, man, because like this could go on all day. It really could.
Yeah. We have in terms of the build, by the way, the exact same build from Whoopi that we saw on Urel already. So going for Marat's Insight again on the first one, so the heals, the sustain that you need on the solo lane, and the gift of the Naru taken on level 4 now as well. So it's really a lot about just her being that sustain, what was that? The
pseudo support.
Pseudo support, yeah. And for the solo lane, that makes a lot of sense, but for the team fights later on, it really helps her out as well.
Yeah.
It's the same build that Aethero was using up to this point, so we're going to keep a bit of an eye on that to see if Whoopi follows the same path for the rest of the game as well. But yeah, Urel just hopping around here and creating space and talking about that. Zelia at this point is engaged upon, and down he goes. Great kill by leftovers. Greymane with the last hit here, but Mopsio might still fall as a result. Good stun. Keeps him alive a bit longer. Link is in, and they are able to move out of this. I'm loving what Leftovers is doing in this game.
Yeah, they don't have Greymane, though, so I think they're still going to lose this race. Snitch is trying to work in those auto attacks, and he gets it. So Team Dignitas will just barely win out on this Immortal phase. And part of it is because of ETC. ETC actually made sure that Greymane was able to rotate over.
It's not only part of it. I mean, it was literally JPL saving them the Immortal here. It was great play by him. You're absolutely right. He moved in and made sure that the heavy audit... I mean, one of the main reasons why Greymane was always so strong here is that his pressure against the Immortal is fantastic once he gets on it.
Yeah.
So ETC zoning him out here won them the Immortal for sure. I still like the way that Leftovers are trying to play this right now. This is a pretty cool style that you show.
And they're looking like they actually might want to dive again here. With Urel in the top lane against Dahaka, they know they have that 4v4. Mopsio's lurking around the corner, threatening the idea of coming in at any point with Maiev to follow up, so Team Dignitas needs to respect that. They'll siege away on the turrets, but not overstep anymore. Only a little bit of damage here on the fort.
Yep. Nice defense here by them. Greymane, of course, in this case, also doing really well. We still have at the top lane Dahaka holding the line. Now, the camps are going to become really important, and this is one of the reasons why we're probably going to see a rotation coming top lane pretty soon. Dahaka against Urel can't really go for the camp, but if someone else helps out, that might be a difference. But they're going for it. A kill attempt here at the bot lane. They're trying to go for Snitch. It was a really good attempt, but the tether couldn't come in. JPL played really well around this and made sure that Maiev could not get the tether onto Hanzo with Snitch, because that would have been a confirmed kill here for sure.
That just shows how fierce this composition is here for Leftovers, though.
Yes.
If they can get on top of a target and pull them in, they will put out damage quickly. Hanzo went down to less than a third of his health, and had it not been for his natural agility, Greymane probably would have followed up and gotten that kill. So Team Dignitas is going to continue to respect that and make sure that Poik and Snitch in particular are left protected.
Urel, by the way, changed the build slightly to from the perspective of what Aethero used yesterday, and went for the Divine Steed on level 7. Fantastic talent. The insta-mount and the added movement speed advantage that decays over a couple of seconds is just great. And in teamfights in particular. So this is something that we're definitely going to see with a bit of action. The 7 talents in general are going to be super important for Dignitas. It's not only Divine Steed that can give you some opportunities, but you have Calamity coming in, you have all of a sudden the extra wave clear on ETC side with the Echo Paddle, and let's not forget about Nature's Cure here for Malfurion, who should make it a bit easier for them to just dodge those stuns on the Nubarak side and the tongs, the drags that we see from Dahaka.
Don't forget about the scatter arrows too. It literally feels like Team Dignitas' composition comes online at level 7 with all the abilities to get here. What becomes the bottom lane is sitting to clear out where Leftovers is attempting to push in this bottom side to keep them himself in the game when it comes to experience. And again, they're staying neck and neck with Team Dignitas when it comes to experience as we head towards those level 10s. But Team Dignitas is able to get on the Immortal a little bit quicker here as they jump to the top side, and they'll go to halftime show easily.
Yeah, better rotation from Dignitas for sure. Here comes the tether against JPL. They're trying to go for it. Podibos needs to be careful, but that could be the kill. ETC is in trouble, and he goes down once again. The Leftovers jumping in and getting the second kill here. But as you said before, they are already behind in the Immortal race. They have lost the halftime show, so now they need to put Greymane onto the point there. And we have Whoopi in as well. using his Qs, actually. Really good job to push them into the stuns.
Yeah, really trying to make sure that the knockback prevents Greymane from actually getting those auto attacks in. Was in a 2v1 against Maya and Greymane. Didn't get too much damage in there, and meanwhile, ETC has had time to respawn, but Xaylia gets tethered once again. Walks through his root, here comes Dahaka. Can they find the drag? Xaylia's trying to stay alive, he's dancing, but he eventually does get picked off. But Poik is trying to find a reset. If he can get one, Team Dignitas can fight back.
That could have been a much quicker kill for leftovers as well if Greymane was already with them, but he just rotated in. Now Dignitas is again claiming the Immortal. But I have to say, if Leftovers is able to pull this off against Dignitas, then we are definitely going to see other teams struggle heavily against them trying to go for these snap kills, because this is looking absolutely fantastic what the Leftovers are pulling off here. They're even going to reach the earlier level 10, but Dignitas is just still controlling the Immortal so well that it's going to be very rough for Leftovers in the long run to keep up with this, because up to this point it worked out, but as the Immortal scales, they need to win some of these objectives. And here's a massive arrow and the follow-up that we're seeing from ETC. Mosh pit is in, it's party time as everyone's dancing, and a quick triple kill is shifting the game very, very quickly in Dignitas' favor.
Literally the easiest mosh pit JPL has ever had in his life. Snitch nailing that Dragon's Arrow, hitting 3 members, power slides in, gets the mosh pit with the help of the Immortal. They clean them up thanks to the resets, and Team Dignitas will take a commanding lead due to those kills. There's a turret wall falling down, and this Immortal, it's still healthy. They can go for a keep.
Yeah, that was actually extremely well done by Dignitas, and of course at the perfect moment in time too, just as they were pushing as is. If they find another kill here, they could even go for the keep. Containment disc comes out, Isolation is hitting as well. They're trying to go for the kill. Poik with a quick teleport away, but the tether is good against Urel, but can they really take her down here? Ult is already popped by Whoopi, and that keeps him alive long enough. JPL moving away here now to the Containment Disc Cocoon combo that we've already seen come through this weekend. This time not successful to isolate and kill someone.
Ardent Defender also healing Whoopi up. Walks away from that fight, full health. Let's go ahead and check out the fight once again here in the top lane. The arrow comes out, bam, landing on 3. JPL power slides in, drops a mosh pit, and Poik will drop the Wave of Force just to make sure to get the resets. Calamity into a Twilight Dream. Click, clean, and perfect. Check mark there from Team Dignitas.
And as we're continuing with the game here, let's also point out that the keep has actually fallen. As we saw Leftovers push past the Immortal, dive past him and try and force the team fight against Dignitas. The Immortal took the keep itself down. Arrow again on Kerosene.
Nice.
And a slide. That's the kill that they needed. 4 versus 5. Dignitas moving in, trying to go for the second kill, and Blakidney is in trouble. He's gonna fall. Snitch is trying to get away from Boss, and he has a straight selective. Can jump away, but JPL is not letting the dinosaur escape here either. The quick drag is maybe putting Poik in a bit of an awkward spot for a second, but that's not gonna change the outcome of this one. Dehaka goes down, another triple kill for Dig, as they are now 2 levels ahead. 6 kills against 3. Have an easy 4 to drop here at the bot lane. And a massive advantage in game number 2.
This is getting out of control quickly here for Leftovers. With the next Immortal phase about to come, and Team Dignitas having the extra talent you mentioned, and they take the entire map. They'll have Catapult pushing in, they'll have this Night Camp in the bottom lane, they'll have the fort destroyed as well, and they're also even looking at that well on the left side. Won't be able to grab it, but Team Dignitas should be able to shred this Immortal quickly. Leftovers probably has one more team fight in this game here before they're out.
But this is a double camp that we're now seeing pushing in as well, so they can really be aggressive with this. Greymane is now moving back from the top lane. Cocoon had been used. They're trying to clean those camps up, but that still hasn't happened. So now we're seeing Dignitas pushing in aggressively again. They're double camp, a talent advantage, 2-level lead. They are just going through that wall. They're trying to make sure that with the next Immortal, if they take it, they can end the game.
Kenny was trying to force a fight there, maybe get ETC pulled in that turret range, and have Mobsio follow it up. Power side allows for him to get out. Team Dignitas heads straight over to the Immortal. 4 setting up for defense. They'll leave Hanzo to himself. As long as they have eyes on Maiev and Greymane, Hanzo should be just fine.
Yeah, Hanzo's doing well here. He's, of course, just rushing down the Immortal again, and Leftovers are now trying to meet that somehow. But that's very unlikely to happen. But the Kidney is being attacked. They're starting to follow it up, but nice dodge here with the Vault of the Wardens as JPL's power slide is being dodged. Here comes the arrow. Hits full in the face. Mosh pit attempt again, and that one connects for a short second. But this time there's no kill follow-up. Still the jump as Hanzo moves away, but a nice Twilight Dream against Greymane, and he goes down. Good kill for Dignitas.
Leftovers just can't find these kills here. Blackidney and crew attempting to get Wubby, but Wubby just staying alive. He'll mount out, drop the spray paint as well, just knowing that he has those jukes available. Jumps over the wall, goes straight for Blackidney. He's able to get out thanks to the teleport, but meanwhile, Hanzo is back to business, clearing out the Immortal and setting up Dignitas for a push in that bottom lane.
Exactly, and in the bot lane, one of the towers has already been lost. Leftovers are still 2-3 levels behind. Dignitas might even get level 16 with a push once they go through the structures. This is looking grim for the Leftovers.
It all comes down to that push in the top lane. Dragon Zero hitting 3 members into the power slide mosh pit. Felt like that became the beginning of the end here. Leftovers are going to have to defend this push in the bottom lane. A massive shield for Team Dignitas. They're stepping up already, getting the waves cleared out. ETC is checking the corners. Sonic Arrow to come out as well to make sure no one is surprised for Team Dignitas. And if they're able to get a kill here, grab a turret. They'll hit level 16, have that talent advantage, and look for a core.
Yeah, they should definitely look for core here. I mean, they should be able to pick a kill up unless we have Leftovers. Again, oh, yeah, okay. Down goes my F, and that is the opening that Dignitas needed here. Now they have the level 16 talent as well. Boss is in trouble. I mean, they try to get the kill against Poik, but fantastic play by JPL as he gets the power slide against both of them. Saves Poik, and now that opens up another kill opportunity. Down go Greymane and Karazi. Mopsio is chased away, pushed into a wall, and taken down. That's going to be the end of the game, and Boss falls, and that's a full team wipe.
Goomba Stomp from Wubby as he comes in and finishes off the Haka. Going straight for the core afterwards as well. Team Dignitas cleans up that fight. And Leftovers, they had to go for that fight. They were so far behind.
Yeah.
Their siege potential against a keep isn't the greatest. Greymane will put himself in a risky position just to clear it up. So they figured if at least we can get in a team fight, maybe then we can defend an Immortal, and it just did not work out for them. Team Dignitas goes up 2-0.
Dignitas with the victory here. The favorite in the series, performing well so far, exactly what you would expect from Dignitas, especially since they had no changes coming into phase number 2. Leftovers, I still like what I see. They go up against the strongest team that we have in Europe, and they are doing well in the early stages of the game. They are aggressive, they're looking for kills, they're making it work. They can, of course, improve a lot of things. Sometimes the execution could be a little bit better. Some of their rotations towards the Immortal were kind of slow and gave Dignitas an early advantage, winning the halftime show. But those are mistakes where, against a lesser team, you can, A, get away with them. You can also make sure that you don't make them again in the future. And Dignitas is really difficult to punish. So I like what I see from the Leftovers here. They're down 0-2, but again, they said they only use this as a learning opportunity, and I feel Leftovers looks way stronger than in phase 1.
Yeah, Dignitas just knows how to snap and get that kill like we saw in that top lane, and they'll be up 2-0. We'll see if they can close it out with 3-0, or if we'll have a chance for Leftovers to come back and get their own win. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Greetings, my friends. So nice to see you around the hearth once more.
Paladin is definitely one of the strongest contenders, if not the strongest at this point. The actual class diversity still remains high.
Bunny Hopper has conceded. AH is going to the Summer Championships.
This time we're going to be seeing different takes on the same types of decks and different lineup strategies.
Oh.
It's go time! This is the Hearthstone Summer Championship!
Welcome back to the HGC, where you get good games and amazing allure.
Yeah.
Your favorite host. My name is Trixler. Counter over there as well.
I'm already a little bit disappointed.
Why?
Like, I'm questioning my life decisions here, because I actually posted a Twitter poll, and right now the result is not quite what I expected. I mean, Illidan Hot or Not is a pretty easy question to answer. I thought that was pro forma. But we have a
You have to take the nasty personality with it, and personality does build into attractiveness.
Did you see Malfurion like, he's jitters all the time. Like, how can you go for that guy?
He's over 1,000 years old. Like, it's
so is Illidan.
But he's been crystallized, right? Like, he's been in crystal for a long time.
Like, I don't know, but he looks way better.
He's like the Terminator.
And he works out. Malfurion does not work out.
Battleground, please. Just I don't know how
That
it is
poll
that
is going to switch. I tell you. People are going to listen to this and they're saying like, wait a second, there are people that vote for Malfurion? That can't be the case, and they're going to save the poll.
Dragon Shire picked up by Dignitas. You're that guy that
Mark
goes
my
into
words.
a party and just yells, and you hope that people listen to you, and they think that you're right because you're yelling louder than everyone. That's not how it is, dude. He's not just hot because you say it. I'm sorry.
No, he's hot because it's true.
Okay.
Hey, if you have the choice, okay, you're weird, so that doesn't count. But like outside of
I'm
that,
not interested in any of them, to be honest with you. I just like.
I mean,
to
I
double
heard
advocate.
from Josh earlier they're supposed to be twin brothers.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to my mind is just like, dude, get some glasses, because that's not the case.
Okay, so our last tidbit on this before we stop talking about it because it's ruining our cast, Caldor.
No, it's not.
Josh was
Like,
so upset that we ruined the lore so much that he came in during our break and he gave us a history
It was
lesson
brilliant.
on the I almost said the wrong word. The love triangle between the three of them.
What did you say?
I'm not going to say it because it's not the correct approach, but I almost said the wrong word. And I don't want to get in trouble because it's a professional podcast. But apparently we were wrong in our lore, and we apologize for that if we offended anybody.
No, our law is better.
My bad, you know.
Okay, you can tell me whatever you want. Our law might be wrong, but it's very, very entertaining.
It's an entertaining lore. Yes, summing up one character into one sentence is very entertaining. Now, moving into Dragon Shire, Dignitas. This is a favorite for them. Right, Caldor?
I'm still stuck. I'm stuck in this room here.
Open the door and go through
Dragon
it?
Shire,
Come to
Dragon
this
Shire.
room?
Yeah. Macro. Dragon Shire is definitely one of the maps where they had in the first phase of 2018, they had a 9-0 track record on Dragon Shire, and they continued their positive trend on the mid-season ball. So this is definitely one of their favorite maps to close out a series.
It's one of those maps, too, where they seem to really enjoy / have a different style of putting one person in that bottom lane and allowing for the tank and the support to rotate as needed
Yep.
between middle lane, top lane. And they just have someone that can clear well, whether it be Chromie with trying to Dragon's Breath the back line of a minion wave, or even Hanzo with that explosive arrow later on level 4. It's a thing that Dignitas does really well, and it's actually pretty strong.
Do you know who was actually like really strong on this map for a long time?
Who?
Illidan.
Trond.
Yeah, but that was a really long time ago.
Yeah.
Tirana was actually good on the map for a long time because you could interrupt any kind of channel on the Dragon Knight with the Owl, and it could stall it out. And when we still had the Murden Tyrande meta, you could simply rotate between mid and top lane and try and get kills the entire time. But that was 2 years ago?
Yeah, that was back then. We had the meta of Christmas 2016 that was Diablo Tyrande every game. That was a fun one, too. Where they just really shut down the Hunter Mark coming in for full 2-second duration.
But after that, we had Illidan. Illidan was strong because he could hunt global.
You could hold the top lane.
He pseudo global and could zip around.
Cooldown was way lower back then, so you could just kind of spend it like crazy.
Yeah, Hunt also is another great indicator that Illidan in comparison to Malfurion is just way more energetic. And literally, like, with all the energy fly around the map, whereas Malfurion is always, like, it feels like Malfurion, like, walks slower than any other character in the game.
Being overcome by your bloodlust of trying to kill somebody is a very beautiful trait in somebody. You are correct,
Oh yeah, he
Caldor.
definitely is. It makes you interesting.
Leftovers thinking about their ban here. Some bans that might sneak in here that you typically won't see are globals. Dahaka could be a wonderful ban on this battleground.
I honestly think that Dignitas is just going to ban out Tracer again and going to follow that trend. I mean, why fix it if it ain't broken?
Oh,
but
we do ban Dahaka.
Dahaka on the side of leftovers makes more sense as a ban, I would say.
True.
But here I would say Tracer again. We still have the first pick on the side of leftovers, so I feel if Tracer is left open, there's a chance that they're actually saying like, well, might as well try it. But Dignitas is hesitating a bit here, so they could actually address other problems instead. But I'm not quite sure if there's anything that really stands out to me as a big problem in the past games where Dignitas says, okay, let's switch this up.
Well, if you don't want your top lane to get destroyed, you can think about Genji here instead, and then you just kind of deal with the Tracer.
Yeah.
And then that way you can get someone on the top lane that can sustain themselves. And so far, between Method and now Dignitas, we see that Urel's actually been okay as a top laner.
The Genji ban is definitely fair. I mean, for the top lane, you can still try and go into Blaze. You have Urel that we've now seen once. And one of the reasons why Method played Urel on this map in particular is because she's so good at holding the shrine at any point. So you end up in a battle between the two top laners where Urel just sustains herself the entire time and you can't push her off the shrine. So they ban out Genji so that the rotation to the top doesn't happen. That leaves Tracer open. And now we're going to find out if leftovers are actually going to pick her, because if they don't, then Dignitas might head into a Tracer and Malfurion rotation.
Boink loves this
There you go.
Tracer. So there it is.
The AB gets a 0.
So we should have a Malfurion for Dignitas
Yep.
with X Hero.
Malfurion Blaze would be fantastic again.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they want to try Urel on the map now. That would be one of the things. Because we have seen Urel for the second time, but as we said before, she seems to, at least for now, have a lot of benefits for Dragonshire simply because she can hold the shrine for so long. So that might be something where Dignitas says, like, you know what, let's go and get our offlane a little bit later, see what exactly happens. We might try that out now. But yeah, outside of that, I would say go for an early Blaze pick.
I'm scared for her changes next week because she is so strong right now on live patch. And if she's being played right now, before buff,
I actually think we might end up with a lot of Urel bans.
Yeah.
If she's too overtuned. That players are just going to say, like, okay, we're not going to deal with that.
We're going to have to go to Thesaurus and find a lot of words for hopping around because she's going to be hopping all over people, and we got to make sure that we can change it up. All right, Muradin comes in, speaking about hopping.
Yep.
Muradin.
Always the Dignitas special on this map. They played Muradin more than any other tank on this map, even when we had a massive focus on Garrosh and other heroes. Before that too, like, it was always a hero that especially JPL loved on Dragonshire. I would have expected Muradin to come in later. I didn't really think that they would commit to the tank in this first rotation, because another hero that they fell back into when they couldn't get their hands on Muradin was Johanna. She's strong now as well. But we have leftovers. They are coming out blazing here with going straight for the offlane pick, and we have an Abathur on top of that too.
That's a spicy worm right there. Making sure to get the Carapace build here for Tracer, keep her alive and constantly helping her out. You have the Soak on the side. You can also make sure that your top lane is empowered to do well, and Blaze already is annoying enough. Leftovers with a pretty strong draft here for Dragonshire.
Yeah, I'm liking it. The Abathur is always a bit of a question mark on Dragonshire. Question mark in the sense that we have seen Abathur here in the past, but traditionally teams shy away from him a bit because it makes it more difficult to control the shrines. But he offsets any kind of 1 versus 1 setup on the top lane, which can be pretty fantastic if you are trying to win that lane. But of course you have one less body on the map, and therefore sometimes the shrine control is a little bit difficult, especially at the start. Can also get snowballed. But he has been played here, but traditionally the better Abathur maps are Towers of Doom, Cursed Hollow. Those are the strong ones.
You just have to really reduce the errors that you have in the early game with Abathur. As you mentioned, the body count not being there. If you lose out on somebody getting traded out, then suddenly Team Dignitas can make a play for that shrine. And next thing you know, you have an early dragon coming at you, and you have turrets falling, and they have an experience lead. Now, Leftovers answer back with a ban on Phoenix. Phoenix has been a pretty common top laner, but also we've seen Dignitas run it as a pure damage dealer. That Salvo has always been a good tool, especially to punish those coming out of a bunker.
Then again, at the same time, you can also make the argument that whenever you have Phoenix going in for the Salvo, the bunker can be used to mitigate it. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, who uses
timing
first?
Based,
exactly.
Yeah.
We had a similar setup back then with Zeratul going up against Tyrael, for example. Who drops it first? The Void Prison coming in and then a Sanctification, or the other way around? But yeah, that's another one of those. But okay, Dignitas at this point still need a bit of damage output. We have Genji taken away. We could still see on the mage side Liming, for example, taken. Good auto attack against Tracer would also be nice.
Yeah, I think with...
There's Liming, there's Urel, so the two heroes that we pointed out.
Urel in the top lane once again here. She just doesn't die.
Yeah.
Just one of those heroes that, man, she can hold her place for a while. As mentioned by Ethereal in the interview yesterday when we talked to him, why did you pick up Urel? Why do you think she could be strong? He mentions that she can hold her place down pretty well and forces your opponent to have to bring more resources to that side of the map, which means that Dignitas or any person that has Urel should be able to get stuff on the map.
The best thing about talking to Ethereal is that he's always so... He's so absolutely in one corner of the argument, which is just always so much fun. He's just like, she's just straight up broken. She just can't die. It's impossible. It's impossible to kill her. And it's so super fun to talk to him. He's amazing for the interviews, and I hope we're going to get him a bit more when Method takes victories. But yeah, Urel, he seems to be really on board with the sustain that Urel provides. And again, keep in mind, this is all pre-patch, so we should see her a lot next week. What's going to be the next hero, though? We're going to be looking at Snitch at this point.
Is it a Hanzo?
Could be. I mean, you are in a situation where it's going to be a little bit difficult to keep you alive, right? If you are not only going up against Tracer, but against a Tracer Abathur.
Difficult to maybe stay alive if you get dived, but difficult for minions to stay alive against him. And you want that Giants to be cleared out quickly. You want those Night Camps to be grabbed. Hanzo gives you that. And of course, the engages we got last game. Not too shabby from him.
Yeah. Leftovers mixing it up from the way that they're drafting in all of the series. We had the double support in the first game, then we had this heavy engage composition in game number 2. Battlefield of Eternity, of course, a bit of a different beast in terms of maps. And now they have a global aspect with Abathur. We're seeing again, a bit of a double support. I mean, they don't have a full support here. They're running this with a Tassadar and with an Abathur. So we don't see the traditional double support where you have a main support and then the pseudo support next to it, but we're just seeing two of them combined, which is actually a pretty cool approach. And that's something that we've also highlighted. We actually talked about that in Phase 1 quite a bit, that with Abathur now coming into this position where with a Carapace build, you will sometimes see him even as a solo support, depending on what kind of build you use and how you try to approach fights on the map. Tassadar bringing now shields into it too. That makes for a really interesting setup. And you have an added layer of defense on the side of Blaze, of course, which has always been a good argument to make certain support combos. Shine's 2 combo is a great example for
And they drafted to make sure that the errors that you could have in the early game is reduced dramatically. Johanna can stay alive by herself. Blaze should be able to do well by himself. Tassadar has dimensional shift if he needs to get out. So it's all about Tracer here. And DAB has been doing great in the past on her.
Yeah, and talking about DAB, two left, boys and girls, we have leftovers with Polybos on Blaze, Mopsy on Johanna, the Kidney on Abathur, Linked on Tassadar, and DAB on Tracer.
On the right side, Zelia to play Malfurion, Snitch on Hanzo, We'll Be Back on Urel, JPL on Murden, and Poik on Li Ming.
Poik on Li Ming here. But yeah, I like the creativity that we have in drafts this weekend. It's always small adjustments, tiny ones, but I really think it's pretty cool that we have now again a Tassadar and Abathur combo as the support side. Both of them, of course, add a lot more to the team composition and also the strategy that you want to play on the map. In don't only provide heals here. We have a lot of self-sustain through Blaze and also Johanna, and also Pope on level 1 here. So a lot of the focus is going to be on Tracer for Abathur and Tassadar.
And she is going to be looking to perform here automatically. Jumping in these fights, making sure no one can mount up. Zelia going toe-to-toe against her. JPL actually sharking around the corner here, trying to get the Storm Bolts. As Poik will try to park from afar. It's mostly this top lane that I'll be keeping an eye on. Is Blaze actually not going to go up here? Blaze still sitting in this middle lane. Looks like Abathur is actually just going to solo against Urel.
I mean, someone will have to rotate up to the top eventually, or we're just going to see that being pushed out. Wubi for now is just dealing with the situation here, but he can definitely push it out eventually. Even though in this patch, in this iteration, we don't have the massive wave clear on the side of Yellow, it's still sufficient to push Abathur back eventually.
For now, having a bit of a difficult time as Abathur's getting that pushed in, but Blaze is already starting the night camp here in the top left corner. Leftovers looking to get aggressive with that camp. Something that we've seen a few times by different teams. Instead of going straight for your Giants, you'll grab the Knight and the Giant at the same time. You have to watch out for an invade though, because that could prove a little costly, especially if Team Dignitas catches wind of this.
This is actually going to be interesting because with the 2 camps already taken, and especially the Night camp now being acquired too, that's going to push the top lane heavily, and I don't think that Wubi alone can deal with that, and Abathur helps out. They could definitely get a tower too if they play their cards right here.
We're going to play it aggressive. Tracer and Johanna actually can rotate to the top here too. Have Abathur soak in the middle lane. Polybos already grabbing the shrine at the top. Tracer's starting to make her way over. He's trying to slow down Li Ming to get out to that area.
Wubi has to be careful here because Abathur can always head Blaze, and that's something that you just simply can't win. DAB is now moving into. So at the beginning, Dignitas was able to control both shrines, mainly because leftovers were going for 2 camps at the same time. But now, of course, that balance shifts a little bit since the leftovers are pushing in. And this is really the moment when ideally you would like to take a tower.
They're working on it already. Wobby steps up, he's knocking away the Spell camp so they can focus this down quickly. Poik here helping to clear out too. And Leftovers about to have another minion wave here too. But they're actually getting chunked pretty quickly. Poik able to get some damage on DAB, and that means they have to back up. This Night Camp doesn't do what exactly Leftovers is hoping to get.
Yeah, they got a bit of damage onto the wall, but it's not really too much. Now Tassadar is very much alone against Hanzo in the bot lane and can't really do a lot here either. But yeah, so far the rotations are not really working out perfectly for them just yet. They have... I mean, they're really struggling to make these rotations as quick as they were hoping for, and Dignitas is actually doing fairly well with their more traditional composition here right now.
Wouldn't mind if having a little bit more commitment in the top lane. Even Johanna coming in could have been good. But Mopsio here in the middle lane trying to clear out, but also to deny Team Dignitas from grabbing the point. But with him not having an Iron Skin here, he could be in trouble. He has to back up. And that will give time for Li Ming to rotate over, start to the channel. Flashlight is available here. There we go. And now the channel comes in. Poik might get this.
Yeah, he definitely will. This is the problem of not having that 5th body at the beginning of the game, and it's really a bit of an issue for them right now. So we're having, at this point, Tracer not getting any kills just yet. The Dragon Knight has been stolen. Dignitas is looking strong in the middle and is now gonna get that lead and experience thanks to structures that they eliminate.
There's one. Second turret should be cleaned up pretty quickly too. Bottom lane's already had a lot of pressure from Hanzo early on as he were cleaning out. Against Tassadar, sure. Tessera can slow it down, but with that turret already taking a little bit of a bruising, the Dragon should be able to clean up that one on the bottom side, and then maybe they can get a fourth here. Leftovers will try to delay that with DAB already turned down. Most of the damage for the team there.
I honestly think that especially when we're talking about level 7 talent for Wubi, this is just such a fantastic talent for quick rotations between 2 lanes. So in the solo laner perspective, she can easily then soak 2 of the lanes with Divine Steed. It's just absolutely gigantic to have these quick transitions between mid and top lane. And especially with added numbers and wave clear then in the next iteration, she should be fantastic in that role.
Scary, that is for sure. JPL catches Johanna rotating in. Iron Skin still up from Mopsio. He should be able to get out of that, especially with the hats coming in from Abbott there. Lots of trades constantly happening, but JPL's been getting a lot of stacks by stopping these rotations. 14 so far on his quest.
Yeah. And talking about quest stacks, 17 for Hanzo. We're currently sitting at linked Tacita, nearly halfway through with his own quest on level 1. It's actually interesting to me that Dignitas isn't as far ahead as I expected them to be after this first Dragon Knight, because they destroyed a fair amount of structures here as is, but leftovers are still keeping kind of close. Really, Abathur coming through for them here with a side soak whenever necessary. So they're going to, once they hit the mid-game, once they hit level 10, they might have an opportunity to get a few kills here thanks to the copy available.
You can't forget about that experience being reduced a little bit on turrets. It definitely doesn't allow you to jump up as much as it used to back in the day.
Yeah.
But it does open up the forts here. Fort Eventual Dragon again. If another one comes over, Team Dignitas